Okay, I didn't intend to do 2 amp reveals in 2 days. I know it's a little bit ridiculous, but hold on a second. First thing is, that was the clean channel that you just heard, which is awesome. And secondly, the reason I'm showing you this amp, and in fact the reason I bought this amp, is because it's on sale at the moment. There's one left at Anderton's. I don't get anything for telling you that. They've got no idea I'm telling you. I just think someone else should nab the other one. I'm going to tell you why. First of all, let's hear a little bit of the lead channel. Okay, so that was the lead channel, and let me tell you about this amp, okay? So it's a 20 watt, ridiculously loud 20 watt 6v6 amp. So it's basically a Deluxe, but it's not. Because the thing is, this amp sounds like it's got a really good pedal plugged into the front of it. So the clean channel is basically not got a master volume, but you don't have to put it up very high to just get really rich harmonic tones out of it. I'm so impressed. Compared to a Fender amp, it's less chimey, but you can get some chime, but it just starts to break up so nicely. I'm really disappointed in my recording today. I have played this amp for 6 hours. 6 hours. After a while I had to put earplugs in, my ears are hurting, but yeah, I just love this. Yeah, so that's the clean channel. And there's reverb, of course, really good spring reverb. The lead channel is pretty cool because it's got a gain and then it's got foot switchable 2 different volumes. So you can have it set so it's quieter and then hit the foot switch again and it will go louder or whatever you need to do. So that makes it really flexible. And I think that's what Hook is all about. The guy who runs Hook is a guitarist himself, and I'm going to put in the description a video he made of this amp years ago, sounding glorious, way better than me. I'm not sure I've recorded this correctly. In the room, there's a lot more separation between notes. It's less compressed sounding, but I don't know what I did. Maybe I had the mids a little bit too high. The mics have picked up something that my ears didn't. In the room, it was just a blast. I mean, it was just massive. I mean, basically, it feels like you've got a tube screamer plugged into the front of this amp. And yeah, when it first arrived this morning, I thought, this is mental because I've just got this Vibrolux yesterday and I just want to play that. And then I plugged this in and I can't compare it to the Vibrolux. They're very different from each other, but I was more than happy to spend the day playing this so I could recommend it and hopefully tell you guys that there's one left at Anderton's before someone else buys it. Let's hear a little bit of cleaner stuff from a different Strat, a tremolo Strat. So why have I bought this amp? I've got so many amps, you might be asking. I've got a Two Rock classic reverb and my Bartell and my new old 1967 Vibrolux and my Rift Ainsley Lister and my Princeton and my Tone King Sky King and my Matchless HC30. I promise you, I have to be done with buying amps now. I'm promising myself. I am covered for every possible situation, from pretty full-on dirt with my Rift to massive springy cleans with the Bartell to tight and what's the right word? Tight and huge headroom with the Two Rock. Just everything. And why did I want this one more amp? Because, here's a reason, because Fender type sounds in the clean channel with a mid control, and then a lead channel that's actually usable, also with a mid control, so you can make it more or less. So the lead channel here has a sort of Marshall-y thing to it, the sort of grind and grunt that it has, almost like a plexi feeling. And the fact that you control the mids is really good. You can either take them out completely or dial them in more and more and more. So between that clean channel that can actually completely sound like a dimed Fender amp, and the lead channel, you're covered for so much. And the less and less that I want to use pedals, and the more and more I think about going out to play live, the more I think about an actual rig that I would use outside. Most of my amps are either probably too expensive for me to take out and I only want to use them in the studio, or would need a pedal board to go with it. And with this, I could use the smallest possible pedal board, probably one fuzz, one boost, one tremolo, and my tuner, and a delay. So I really could get away with a very tiny board, and then use the amp with its two different volumes in the lead channel and the clean channel that's not quite clean. It's more Stevie Ray Vaughan clean. So yeah, but I want a lot of you that watch my channel frequently. This is a watershed moment here, because I have to stop buying amps now. It sounds like I'm at Amps Anonymous, but I am. Like, it's getting silly now. If I want to buy a new amp, I need to sell another one. Now, I've sold 3 amps over the last few weeks, so I'm quite happy with that. And I'm now down to every single type of sound and thing that I could want. And the last thing is that this amp was reduced from $21.99 to $16.99, which to me puts it definitely in the category of, I can take this out, I take it anywhere, a pub or whatever, and in comparison to my other amps, it's a lot less valuable, but it's still a really fantastic boutique amp made by a small production by a guy who plays the guitar. And the speaker that's chosen for this, with the Warehouse Veteran 30, which is basically Warehouse's Celestion Vintage 30, but I think with slightly less harshness, but still quite harsh. Those sorts of speakers are really good in a band context, because they reasonably tight in the low end. This amp is not as tight in the low end as I thought. You have to take out quite a lot of the bass, but pretty tight in those upper mids, which I think will come across better in a band than it does solo. So it really is an amp that I would use live. Yeah. So this week I didn't intend to buy this amp, but the deal was too good. But I will say one thing to all of you, especially in the UK. If someone buys that one at Anderton's and any of you really, really want this, I will sell this. Not because I don't love it, but because I have got enough amps and I will make do. And, I think this is a really cool amp for someone, especially someone who really does gig and, wants to spend a decent amount of money on an amp, but not a ridiculous amount of money. And they want to be able to take their amp out and they want as much usability as possible. I'm happy for this to go to someone else. I can already tell you it's going to be one of those amps where I'm going to go through phases with it. So I'm going to enjoy it a lot for these first few days. It will sit on the side, and then every so often it will come out. I'll probably make a few videos with, it's going to be a really good pedal platform, because when you turn the clean channel back, it's reasonably neutral just before it starts to break up, and so really great for pedals. And yeah, I think it's a good one, especially as I've got a few people interested in coming along to try out some of my gear. I don't know if you remember, I mentioned before that for a reasonably small amount of money, I think for now, 100 quid for about 3 hours ish, you know, obviously like this is not a business for me, you know, I'm hoping to meet like-minded people and have some fun. So for a few hours to come and play a few of my guitars and my amps, yeah. So having a cool variety of amps is really interesting, and having a few amps that are slightly more affordable. And so, you know, you can try those out. Yeah, this video is a bit of a ramble. There'll be a bit more playing at the end. Man, I'm still thinking about that Vibrolux. So here's one more thing, and this is a sort of more like this video has got a bit of everything in it, a bit of a channel update. I want to sell my Macmull S Classic. I've got 4 Strats at the moment, and obviously my new master built one is my main one, and then my case one, and then my old white one. And the Macmull, as fantastic as it is not getting as much playtime as I'd like it to. And there's going to be a pretty large announcement in the next few weeks. That means I would like to sell the Macmull. If anyone has any interest in just chatting about it to start with, email me. I'm going to keep my email address in the description today, because you can chat about coming to play around with my amps and guitars. If you're trying to decide on a big purchase and I've got the gear, you can try it, whatever. And here's one last thing. Now, I'm not a guitar teacher by any stretch, but over the last 2.5 years, I've progressed from being a beginner to beginner intermediate, I want to say. And I know what the journey's like. I know how difficult it is to even figure out where you are in the whole thing. And one thing I find about learning from really experienced guitar players is sometimes they forget those little difficult steps. And because it becomes so automatic. It's all still so fresh in my mind just to get to the stage where I'm at, that if any of you feel like I could help you, then I'm interested in doing Zoom lessons with people. The Zoom lessons I've done, for example, with Ainsley Lister, there's not so much playing involved in the lesson itself. There's normally a lot of chat, you know, where do you want to get to? What sort of music do you listen to? How do you just progress little ideas? It's not necessarily about learning whole new massive techniques or going through whole pieces of music. So if you think you might take anything from it, then yeah, again, hit me up, email address in the description. Yeah, I've thrown this all into one video today. Maybe I should have separated it out. But yeah, I hope some of you might be interested in this amp. I think it's a really great amp, actually, for the money, especially on this spring sale at Anderton. So someone should grab it. And yeah, we'll play out, and I'll see you next time. Cheers. Bye.